Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be going over a 2024 Winnebago Navion. This is a 24D. Something kind of unique about this one, it is a hail sale, so it is a 2024 all new, so it is still fully under warranty, but it's at a nice price. So if you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, you guys can call me at my number below, which is 970-388-7937. But other than that, we're going to take a walk around the outside. I'll kind of point out some of that hail damage. I know it's really hard to see from your guys' perspective. You can see it a little bit better in person, but I'll try to point those out while I'm walking around, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of the light hail damage it has, and then we'll jump on the inside and get into the features in there. But let's go ahead and start on the outside. Starting over here, we have our stylized rims and tires. Up above here, we just have our nice little more truck style mirror with the blinker on the inside, and then the Winnebago running board. As you could tell, if you guys aren't familiar with the Navion, this one does have the upgraded full body paint, so you don't have to worry about any decals ripping off over time or kind of having any sun damage. So it's kind of nice having that full body paint just for either winter and also summer months. As we slide on over to, here's our nice little door. And we have our window, which is open, can open up here, which is in our door. And then we have the upgraded windows here that will actually pop out, that has a little blackout shade as well as a nice little bug screen. I love having this upgrade just because rain or shine, you could still have those open just because it will block all that rain coming in. And it just helps give you a better airflow than those typical standard slide windows. I'll go ahead and open up this first bay here. Nothing too crazy. It is all nice and plastic in here, but we do have some charging up in the corner, and we have a little opening here so you can slinky out any of that charging if you'd like, so you don't have to keep that bay door open. And then we just have our exhaust right here for the Mercedes. We have our exhaust here for the Suburban, and then we have our Truma AquaGo Truma heater for hot water. And then this is equipped with our Cummins Onan. It's the 3600 LP generator. And the exhaust will be back here in the back. And then for our last bay on our passenger side here, this one still is nice and plastic, but it is just a white, different material. A cool feature for this one, since it's the 24D, you do have this little extra storage space here, which is also accessible. This is the rear bath. So in your closet, you'll be able to remove this panel, and then you will be able to access it from not only inside, but also outside as well. Alrighty, now on to the rear of the coach. We're gonna start at the top. As you can see, you have a nice little ladder here so you can access the roof. On the roof, you will have your AC, and you will have 2 solar panels. They are 100 watt each. And then you do have that dedicated solar panel for that chassis battery. Below that, we have our 360 camera. This one is just pointing to the rear. And below that, this is our window in that bath. So we have that rear bath. It's one of my favorite bath conversions for the Navion, just because it's a little bit bigger than the rest. You don't feel as claustrophobic, and it is nice in the rear, and then you get this big window. So we'll get into that once we get inside, but I just wanted to kind of mention that while we're looking from the outside. Sliding down to our hitch, we have a 5,000 pound towing capacity as well as a 500 vertical weight. And then we are already pre-wired for a tow vehicle. So you have your brake lights right here that you can go ahead and plug in if you wanted to flat tow. Alrighty, now we'll work our way to the driver's side, and I'll show you the first bay compartment here. So this is going to be our wet bay on this side, and we have our exterior shower here, which does have a nice little cutoff point here. So if you're running that water and you want to kind of save your water, which is only 30 gallons of fresh, and then you have the 41 gallons of gray and the 41 gallons of black. So I like how they have that little stopper so you can help maintain all of that fresh water supply. And then you have your black waste tank drain, and then your gray right here, and you can also turn on that water pump. Right over here is going to be our 30 amp shore power cord. As you can see right here, if we just rotate these and see if I can do it with one hand. But you can keep this bay door locked while you're plugged in, right here, and it does have these little red latches kind of lock it up too, so while you're going down the road you don't have to worry about it kind of opening up. And then you can keep this locked too, just because this little maneuver, you can go ahead and slinky through that 30 amp shore power cord. I'll just go ahead and put it back so I don't forget. Alrighty. Directly above here we have our black water tank flush. So if you want to just go ahead and put your hose nozzle on here to kind of rinse out that black tank, you can go ahead and do that from here. Slide on over, just another bay. Plenty of storage space in here. And right over here is going to be our propane tank. I don't know if you can kind of see, we do have a little bit of about 1, 2, 3, 4 dings on this door from the hail because it kind of came in sideways. So I'm not sure if you guys can kind of see that, but here's our first glimpse of some hail damage. Alrighty, and as we open our driver door, you have the upgraded seats. So you kind of have that light cloth leather here. It's going to be all electric for your configuration in the seats. Excuse me. And then sliding on over, we have our diesel. You have 24.5 gallons of fuel here. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop that hood and we'll kind of check out the chassis. Before I pop it completely, I will kind of point out a few of the dings that we have on here. So we have one right here, a few right on here, which I know is kind of hard to see. It's even hard for me to see. It's a little easier in direct sunlight, but we kind of have some half and half going on. But I would say maybe about 5 dings on the hood. And if you had any other questions or concerns, or you wanted to get into it a little bit more as far as the depth of the hail damage, I'd be happy to do a FaceTime call for you guys, or even just discuss over the phone. Alrighty. But this is on a Mercedes-Benz rear-wheel drive Sprinter chassis. It's the 2.0 liter high output turbo diesel, 4-cylinder engine, 9-speed automatic transmission, and then you have the 250 amp alternator. Something that's kind of cool is you have the hydraulic brakes on here. You have your LED high performance headlights, and then you're also having, you know, all the active brake assist, lane keeping assist, attention assist, hill start assist, and then also crosswind assist. But if you guys are familiar with the Mercedes, you have your DEF fill right here, so it's nice and accessible. You just want to make sure whenever you're filling that DEF, you're keeping that nozzle nice and clean. Keeping DEF clean is very important. They don't like having any type of, you know, dust or particles inside of it. Right here is just our coolant. And then as we slide over here, we just have our oil fill. And then we have our windshield wiper fluid, amongst the other things as well, jumping the chassis. The one connector is here for your red, and the other output's gonna be right there. But everything's super simple and straightforward. Now I'll go ahead and put this down so you can get one more glimpse of just the hood and that hail damage, and then we'll go ahead and work our way on the inside. Alrighty, before we take our first step in, I just wanted to point out this kind of new, well, they kind of brought it back to this door, so you don't have that. It's a little bit better as far as for noise, and you don't have that big bubble here that has the trash can anymore. So instead of having that screen door that slides, they went back to actually having a fully functional door. As you enter the coach, you have your fire extinguisher to the right. And then to the left, you have some control panels down here. So you have your battery disconnect. You have 2 of them, one for solar and one for the other one. And then you have your steps, your awning, and then the awning controller. Alrighty. We already have everything on, but as you could tell, we have our slide in. So before I open that slide, I do have to start the chassis and put the brake on. And now I will go ahead and come on over here to, so So as you can see, we have a full walkway when the slide is in. So if you have pets that kind of you want to travel with, they have plenty of room to kind of walk the whole length of the coach, as well as having some more area underneath the table. And now I will go ahead and extend the slide. Alrighty, now that the slide's open, I just wanted to mention this is a 25.5-foot coach, but with this full wall slide, you really feel like it's a Class A on the inside. So that's why I love this floor plan, just because it really opens everything up. You have a tremendous amount of counter space over here, and then you have 2 areas since this bed is up to be able to kind of have people come in, sit down, and get comfortable inside of the coach. But now that we have this slide open, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to start off in the rear bath, and then we'll work our way forward. So let's go ahead and I'll show you that rear bath. It is a little tight with 2 people, but I'm just going to visually, I know I'm wearing a huge puffy jacket and all that, but I'm about 5'8" with heels on. And as you can see, I have this little closing rack, but you can kind of just get a visualization with this kind of sloped hood up here for that skylight. Gives you a little bit more of a headway space. You have your little rack here to kind of hang up any wetsuits or anything that you would like to dry, so when it drips, it kind of just falls into the pan. And then you have your nice little shower head that is detachable, that also has the same configuration on the one that's on the outside. So for saving that water, you just go ahead and push these over, and you can kind of stop that water flow. Another cool thing about Winnebago that I love with their shower pans with other competitors, not going to say who, but normally when you step in that shower pan, it really starts to cave a little bit and you just feel like it's really fragile. So Winnebago puts an extra little like superstructure on the underside of the pan to kind of help it be a little bit more stable, so you can feel a little bit more grounded while you're showering and not feeling like you really have to brace yourself in case something happens. So I really like that. And then also with this little shower screen here, it automatically cleans it when you bring it in, so all that condensation, all that, it doesn't really get built up, and you won't have to worry about any mildew. It kind of is a self-cleaning, so I love that as well. Here is that window I was discussing with you. Kind of brings in a lot of natural light, and then you have your blinds here, of course, so you can give yourself some privacy. The toilet down below is pretty standard, and then you have your little foot flush. Plenty of storage underneath the sink, and then you have your stainless steel sink in here, which is a decent size, as well as for your little sink for the water. And then you have your Truma AquaGo settings here, so you can go ahead and configure that and turn it on and off, as well as that water pump. Directly above that, you have a nice medicine cabinet inside here with a few cubbies. All these latches you can go ahead and push, and it'll kind of keep everything nice and tight, so when you're going down the road, it kind of helps minimize any of those rattles. The Flying W, a lot of people use it as a towel holder to kind of dry your hands. This is kind of a awkward positioning, but this is kind of that you know, closet area I was telling you about. So you have your hanging rack up top, and then down below is that removable panel, so you can kind of access it on the outside. And then to the left, what you're seeing is that table. So that's just another exterior table that you can bring to the couch, which I'll go ahead and unclip so you guys can kind of see where it's at. But just wanted to briefly show you guys the closet space inside of the bathroom, as well as the one that we have outside. But in the meantime, I'll grab this table. I love when they already think of, you know, where you could store your table, so you don't have to worry about doing that yourself. And then you have a nice little pocket door here that latches when it's closed, so you don't have to worry about it flying open while you're going down the road. Here is the other closet space with some nice little drawers here. This is for that convection microwave, and then you have a curtain because you will be able to close off that bed space when it's down, which I'll go ahead and get into as well. This is a little misleading. You think it kind of goes into more storage place, but you don't. You just have one little place here, and then this is going to be your little breakers and your fuse box down below. But I like how it's kind of hidden. You can't really see it unless you open the door. And before I get too ahead of myself here, I want to just go ahead and display the bed. But this is where the table goes here. I'm not exactly sure where the little connection is at the moment, but as you could tell, you have two decent sized tables on the inside, so a nice place to come here and have some people sit and play cards or even just enjoy their meal without having to kind of be squished in the table. So I love the flexibility that this configuration offers you. So before you go ahead and push the button that's in the bathroom, because this is an electric bed, you're just going to go ahead and open up your little, your bed hooks, I guess you could say. Losing the name. And we'll go ahead and just push this button and it'll automatically fold down. Another positive is that you don't have to take any of the cushions off of the couch. You just go ahead and pull out the legs, push the button, and it automatically goes down. So you don't have to worry about storing any of those cushions that are in the couch. It just automatically folds for you. So now that this bed is up and standard and ready for you to see, you do have charging on either side, and then you have your window, and as you can see, you have some more storage space up top, as well as reading lights. Pretty comfortable mattress that they make at the Winnebago factory. It is a little bit more firmer, so some people do add on a little like foam pad, and they kind of keep it in place with a fitted sheet. So you do have about, a few inches to kind of keep your bedding on. I get that question a lot with customers. You can't put on the biggest and fluffiest bed topper, but you can keep on a sheets and maybe a quilt or a lighter blanket, so you don't have to worry about storing that as well. But since those little storage bays aren't really available up top, you can kind of keep all the sheets and the bedding inside of there if you'd like. Alrighty, now I'm going to go ahead and bring that up so I have a little bit more space to walk around here. Perfect. And then this is just our Coleman Max for our AC and our heater. I do have the heater set right now. It's on heat and gas, so you could do gas or electric. And I have it set to 80. When I first got in here, it was probably about 58, and it's already in the matter of a half an hour has went up to 78. So it's made a significant jump in temperature. It's a little bit more cozy in here. Kind of stow these away. All right, so directly across from our bed, I know I already showed you all the storage here. We do have our Norcold freezer and fridge conversion here. So decent sized freezer as well as fridge. And then directly above that, we have our solar charger and then our one place, which also is where we'll start our generator. And then you can also see the tank levels as well as the battery levels. This controller is that slide that I was using. So we have to have our chassis running and the brake ignited to be able to, configure and slide in and out that slide room. Sliding over here, we have our kitchen area. And inside here we have our Xantrax. So we have a 2000 watt inverter inside of this coach. And then you do have the holding tank heater. So it's great during winter months if you kind of want to camp while it is kind of cold. So you just go ahead and flick this on. It'll glow red to let you know that those heaters are on. Directly below here, we have our true induction, and then we have a single propane burner. I like having these split, and I've got a lot of feedback about it. Customers like it as well, especially if you're boondocking. Just gives you the flexibility of either using your electric or using your propane. I'll start from the bottom just so you can kind of see all the drawers. Nothing too crazy there, but you have a total of 4 drawers in the kitchen, which are fairly deep. And then we have our convection microwave oven. Our Signa TV and our Bose surround sound. This does unlatch because it is on a hinge here. I always have the hardest time doing it, so I'm not going to do it right now. But behind here you do have a nice little paper towel holder, so you don't have to worry about buying one yourself, and it's nice and hidden, which I like. And then we have some more storage up here with our Winnebago handy dandy notebook. And then we have our sink here. So So you have a wash and a rinse. It's nice and rectangular. Everything is winterized right now, so it gets a little messy during this time, but we always keep paper towels handy so we can wipe it up when we need to. And then you have all the storage underneath the sink. All right. Here are the big windows I was kind of telling you about, which is an upgrade. So these are just the dual pane windows that you can kind of prop open to get some nice airflow. Your bug screen. And then of course, when the window is closed, you have your blackout screen. I guess you could keep it open still, but you don't want it blowing open. And you have 3 different settings, so you don't have to open it up all the way. Kind of gives you the flexibility of opening it up to whatever you'd like. And then another thing that's kind of cool too, you can keep it cracked. So you just have to put it in the middle so you can still keep it locked. So if you wanted to keep your windows open, but you're going to be leaving, so you want to make sure your coach is still locked, you still have that option of doing so. Alrighty, and our last little spot that we have here is our dining area. This dining area is super cool because it's huge, right? So you can fit 4 people comfortably, and then you have a total of 3 seat belts. You're going to only have 1 tether though for a car seat in this floor plan. So you'll only be able to do 1 car seat. But this table, once you take the post out, you go ahead and bring it down here. All these cushions collapse, and you have a huge bed. I mean, even I can sleep here. I can't sleep straight out, but I mean, kind of tuck your knees in, and in a pinch, if you needed someone to stay, you have this option as well as the bunk overhead. So plenty of sleeping area inside of this coach, given that it's only a 25 foot. You could sleep up to, I mean, at least 5 people, depending, I mean, 5 adults at least. And then you have plenty of storage up above. It's all nice and through, so if you have longer items that wouldn't fit in there exactly, you can go ahead and angle it in just right so it can go in between 2 of these. And you have another huge window right here that I already displayed, that dual pane window. And another cool thing is, since our TV's over here, you can go ahead and prop these up so you can kind of kick your feet up and relax, and you can do that on either side. And then of course we have the bunk, the overhead bunk. And then these are just our little cushions, so when we swivel the chairs, it kind of levels you out here, just because this is a cut-off chassis, so they build everything from here back. It's Winnebago. Up front here is all Mercedes, so that's why you have this weird step up. So when you swivel the chairs, this is kind of just a little booster seat to help level you out. Alrighty. Now we're just coming up here to briefly discuss all things Mercedes. Nothing has really changed. So we have all the configurations that are over here are going to control our radio. Everything on this side is going to control our dash. And then as always, you have the phone, navigation, radio, media, info, everything Mercedes. So you can go ahead and swipe through all of those assists we were talking about and all of the safety features. You can go through them, turn them on and off, and kind of adjust their sensitivity. And then you have your settings as well. Down below here, you just have nice buttons in case your touch screen is giving you a fits. Then we have our heating and cooling, our hazard lights, and some multiple cup holders. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for our 2024 Winnebago Navion. Again, this is a hail sale, so if you guys had any other questions, comments, or concerns regarding kind of anything hail sale related, I'd be happy to take any phone calls or even do a personal walkthrough for you guys on FaceTime if you'd like. But a lot of things that we could talk about, go ahead and give me a call. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, it's 2024 Winnebago Navion 24D hail sale, and I'd be happy to chat with you guys. Have a great day.